Ever wonder what happens when a greedy HOA president picks a fight with the wrong rancher? Let me tell you about the day Evelyn Harper, with her designer sunglasses and a gun, thought she could steal my family's land, and how I turned her empire of lies into her own foreclosure party. My name's Ethan Caldwell, a former Navy SEAL who inherited a 30-acre ranch in Texas, land my great-grandfather tilled with his bare hands. It's got history, 200-year-old oak trees my ancestors planted, one with my great-grandfather's initials carved when he was a boy, another where I proposed to my late wife, Laura. That ranch is my legacy, my promise to keep it alive. But one April morning, after a 3-day business trip, I came home to a gut punch. The crunch of my truck's tires on the gravel usually brought peace, but that day, something was wrong. Too much sunlight streamed through where my oaks should have stood. I floored it to the eastern property line, my heart sinking. Nearly an acre of my forest was gone clear-cut. Stumps littered the ground like gravestones, sawdust fresh. And there, hammered into my soil, was a sign, Property of Crestwood Estates, Community Development in Progress, No Trespassing. I was photographing the destruction, my blood boiling, when engines roared. A sleek black Mercedes SUV rolled up, followed by a pickup loaded with landscaping gear and a Crestwood Estates branded Jeep. Out stepped Evelyn Harper, mid-40s, dressed like she was headed to a boardroom, not a rural ranch. Her blonde hair was pulled tight, her oversized sunglasses hiding half her face. She moved like someone who always got her way. "You're trespassing," she called, not even introducing herself. "This area's under Crestwood Estates jurisdiction now, per original property maps." I planted my feet on my family's soil. "I'm Ethan Caldwell. This is my land. Been in my family since 1876. I've got the deeds to prove it." Evelyn smirked, removing her sunglasses with a flourish. "Evelyn Harper, Crestwood Estates HOA president. You're mistaken, Mr. Caldwell. There's a historical boundary error we're correcting." She waved to the crew. "Keep clearing. We need this prep for the border wall by next week." I stepped forward, deeds in hand. "I've got every survey right here. You need to leave." Her smile didn't budge. "Boys, keep working. If Mr. Caldwell harasses us, we'll call Sheriff Larson." The standoff might have exploded if Sheriff Mike Larson, an old high school acquaintance, hadn't pulled up. Evelyn handed him a document, claiming city council approval to restore boundaries. I spotted it wasn't a court order, just a directive to investigate. She was banking on her ties to Councilman Bennett and my ignorance. But I'd learned property law after the seals. Mike, to his credit, stayed neutral. "Both of you stand down for 48 hours. No clearing, no nothing, till we sort this out." After they left, I found survey stakes stretching a quarter of my land and a folder dropped from a work truck. Inside? Plans for Harper Heights, a luxury development on my eastern acres. My phone buzzed me. Old SEAL buddy, Lucas, Hawk, Reed, a cybersecurity whiz, texted, "Found dirt on Crestwood Estates. Meet me now." At a diner 20 miles out, Hawk slid his laptop over. "Evelyn's not just after your land, she's desperate. She's underwater on her Crestwood mansion and other properties. Harper Heights is her last shot to avoid bankruptcy. And here's the kicker, a natural gas company, Apex Energy, wants your land's mineral rights. Evelyn's in bed with them through a shell company with Bennett." My attorney, Rachel Nguyen, a former prosecutor with a knack for property law, dug into county records. We found my ranch extended 2 acres further east than I'd thought, making Evelyn's encroachment worse. "They've got no legal ground," Rachel said, spreading out 1984 surveys. "But Evelyn's got council connections. We need to be careful." Meanwhile, Clara Thompson, the 72-year-old general store owner, tipped me off about an emergency HOA meeting. Evelyn was painting me as a threat, claiming my dilapidated ranch tanked property values. Rachel and I tried to attend, but hired security blocked us. Clara slipped out, whispering, "Evelyn's twisted the bylaws to give herself unchecked power." The harassment hit hard. My mailbox overflowed with fake violation notices. Local shopkeepers eyed me warily after emails claimed my ranch harbored dangerous animals. I invited skeptical Crestwood residents to my ranch, showing them the truth about Evelyn's schemes. They were stunned to learn their HOA fees funded her debts. Mid-meeting, Evelyn stormed in with Councilman Bennett and 2 security goons. "This is community destabilization," she shouted, pointing at the crowd. When a guard tried entering my house, I blocked him. He reached for his holster. "You really want to draw a weapon on my land?" I asked, SEAL instincts kicking in. Sheriff Larson arrived, disarming the guard and warning Evelyn about trespassing. My security cameras later caught Evelyn and her VP, Nathan Brooks, snooping in my barn during the chaos. What were they after? Rachel called that night urgent. "It's not just boundaries. Your land sits on a massive natural gas deposit. Apex Energy's been buying up surrounding mineral rights, but your parcel's the key." I found hidden cameras and a listening device in my barn. Evelyn was spying. Her smear campaign escalated. A newspaper ad with doctored photos labeled me a mentally unstable veteran. My insurance was cancelled after an anonymous complaint Hawk traced to Evelyn. Then someone dumped chemicals in my pond, killing fish and costing thousands. Evelyn's boldest move was a restraining order, claiming I threatened her with edited audio from my barn. In court, Rachel shredded her case with unedited recordings and proof of illegal surveillance. The judge denied the order, warning Evelyn about false reports. But she didn't stop. My main tech consulting contract was terminated, and a fire, sparked by sabotaged wiring, hit my empty horse barn. Exhausted, I sat on my porch, staring at my great-grandfather's photo, wondering if I should sell. Then Hawk texted, "They're planning to seize your land this weekend, thinking you're at a wedding. Move now." We launched Operation Backlash. I hired a fraud-focused PI firm, installed legal surveillance, and had Hawk set up motion-triggered recorders. Rachel gathered resident affidavit VYTS. Our cameras caught Evelyn, Nathan, and Bennett at a restaurant, plotting to tank my land's value for a cheap HOA buyout, then sell to Apex for triple. At an HOA meeting, I crashed with folders exposing Evelyn's fund misuse. She countered with forged contracts, claiming I'd turned my ranch into a toxic dump. Some residents doubted her, but fear of plummeting values kept others loyal. Nathan, caught on tape, urged her to back off. "We're too close," she snapped. "If Caldwell won't break, we'll break him." 3 days later, 2 thugs attacked me in a store parking lot, muttering, "Evelyn sends her regards." Hawk's warning and my training saved me. Sheriff Larson's timely arrival didn't hurt. One thug flipped, admitting a rich lady paid Dula $5,000 to rough me up. Evelyn planned her final move for when she thought I'd be at a friend's wedding. Instead, I staged a sting with SEAL teammates, faking my absence with social media posts. Saturday morning, Evelyn's gone for Mercedes, 2 pickups, and an excavator rolled in. She laid out plans to build a wall 5 acres into my land, even instructing workers to stage a small fire in my barn for safety violations. I gave the signal. Sheriff Larson and deputies emerged, my team surrounding them. "Trespassing, attempted property damage, conspiracy to commit arson," Larson listed, seizing a gasoline can. Evelyn's mask cracked as deputies cuffed her. "This isn't over, Caldwell," she spat. Nathan froze, then surrendered. Clara called residents were ousting Evelyn after learning she'd siphoned Dula $300,000 in HOA funds. Hawk uncovered her Ponzi scheme, using new residents' fees to cover her mansion's mortgage. Nathan bailed out, met me at a diner, handing over a flash drive. "Evelyn's bankrupt from a failed Florida resort. She faked mortgage payments for HOA board members, trapping them in her fraud." At a chaotic HOA meeting, Evelyn, bailed out via connections, tried to bully residents, threatening to expose their secrets. Hawk's EVY Denke of rigged elections and offshore accounts crushed her. Councilman Bennett denied involvement, but emails proved otherwise. Evelyn offered me a deal in the parking lot. Sell me 10 acres, drop the charges, and this ends. I ignored her, hosting a town hall to expose her crimes. Nathan stood up, confessing everything, even her FBI-tracked money laundering. Agents arrested her as she tried to flee. A week later, Evelyn, out on bail, vanished. Hawk traced her Alia bank loan officer faking her mortgage docs. At 2 a.m., my security system pinged. Evelyn, disguised and armed, crept toward my office for my deeds. Looking for something? I asked, flipping on a lamp. Her gun trembled. Give me the deeds, and you might walk away. I stalled, recording her rant about her VY Shaun for Crestwood. Sheriff Larson burst in. Evelyn fired, grazing my shoulder. Deputies tackled her. Her bank accomplice was caught fleeing with Dula $200,000. 6 months later, I stood on my porch, watching the sunset over new oak saplings. Evelyn got 12 years for fraud, embezzlement, arson, and assault. Apex Energy scrapped their plans. I bought Evelyn's foreclosed mansion at auction, turning it into a veterans community center. At its opening, locals and Crestwood residents mingled, boundaries forgotten. A sign read, "Boundaries exist only in the mind. True community has no barriers." A reporter asked if I felt VY indicated. I grinned, looking at my great-grandfather's land, secure for generations. Evelyn brought a gunfight to my ranch, but I threw her foreclosure party in her own house. Sometimes the best fences are built with respect. As I stood on the center's balcony, my ranch glowing in the distance, I knew the hardest fights yield the sweetest. VY Toriesa united community, stronger than Evelyn's empire ever was.